All right, so making $100 a day is one of the most achievable tasks that you can ever do. In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to make $100 a day passive income. Hey, welcome back. First, I'm going to show you how I got started. Then I'm going to show you how to make an extra $100 a day. And by the end of this episode, $100 a day passive income is going to be an achievable reality for you. All right, so how I got started. I was in the military and I was so tired of being away from home all the time, always in the field, always training, always deployed, always gone, always away. So I had a very young family at this time. We were just on our about to be on our second baby. We had already had our first baby, and I was always gone, always training, always deployed. And out of my 8.5 years in the military, I only slept at my own house in my own bed with my wife for about 4 of those years. So over half the time I was gone, I needed to make extra passive income. So I had a huge why. I had the second baby on the way, and we were planning on having a family, and it's hard to be a family when one of the spouses or mommy or daddy are always gone. So I needed to make, more than $100 a day, but that was my original goal, was to make $100 a day without lifting a finger, AKA passive income. Passive income, if you look up the definition of passive, it happens with or without you doing anything really. Or you imagine that passive person that's just like always chill all the time. Well, I'll tell you, the person that earns passive income every day is pretty chill as well. So $100 a day, do the math. The average month is 30 days. So that's an extra $3,000 a month. That is absolutely life-changing for somebody. So $3,000 a month is life-changing, but ultimately I want you to look at this, get that first $100 a day, and then $200 a day, and then $300 a day, and always be growing, improving, helping others eventually, not just yourself and your family, but eventually others. So let's get right into it. So I was searching for answers. At this time, I was wholesaling houses. I was flipping houses while simultaneously being an Army officer. I was doing very well in the military, but it just wasn't for me. I was always away from my family. I wanted to earn additional income. So I started listening to podcasts, watching YouTube channels just like this. And oh, by the way, smash that subscribe button because I do these 5 days a week because I earn passive income and I've got the time to do it. So hit that subscribe button. That's a thank you to me. And thank you so much for taking the time to do that. Let's keep going. All right. So I was listening to this podcast about this guy buying land at crazy discounts and turning around and flipping this stuff overnight and doubling, tripling, sometimes 10xing his money. So I took that idea and I took immediate action, and I want you to take action too. Don't just watch these videos, do the steps, do the action step. The action taken brings the result being either the revenue coming in, the extra $100 a day coming in, buying the piece of land at a crazy massive discount, and then that result gives you the education. Don't be looking for education, looking for action steps. Look for action steps. So I'm going to give you some action steps to take. That is exactly what I did to start earning that $100 a day passive income. So I heard about this guy, he's buying land and doubling his money overnight. So I was mailing that time the house list, which was basically people that were behind on their taxes. So I took that same list and I started mailing the land list that were behind on their taxes. These are people that are not paying their taxes, sometimes for multiple years, and they're screaming to me that they are motivated sellers because they're not paying their taxes. And most of this land was inefficient, not buildable, not accessible, you name it, there are all kinds of issues with it. However, I was getting it at such a discount, I was able to turn around and sell it for more, and sometimes over like 10 times more than what I was paying for it. So I mailed 687 postcards to this list that was behind on their taxes, and it was landowners. And I'm going to give you this postcard today that I use for free, and it's going to be yours that you can start taking action immediately. Where did I find this list? I called the county treasurer. In my state, it's called the county treasurer. Some states like Florida, they call it the county tax collector or the tax collector's office. And you ask them, you say, hey, I'm looking for the people that are not paying their taxes. I want to list the people that are behind on their taxes for their property. And that's where you're going to take this very special postcard that I'm going to give you today as my free gift and start mailing these people saying, hey, my name's Brent. I'd like to buy your land. If you're interested in a fair cash offer or no hassle offer, call me, text me. Love you. So just pretty much put that out there and get your phone ringing, and you got to answer that phone. Let me talk about that first deal. The guy calls me and says, hey, I used to work as a CPA. I traded this land many years ago for some tax work I did. He wasn't able to pay me, so I took the land from him and he gave me the land, but I've been paying the taxes all these years and it's not buildable. I no longer want it. It's yours if you want it for $285. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can buy land for $285? So I went and looked at this land and it was beautiful. But I understood it was not buildable because they would not allow, the firefighters would not let people build on it because there's only one ingress and egress. And the city was not allowing that second ingress and egress to go over the railroad tracks. So ultimately, this land was not buildable. So yeah, I'm getting it for $285, but what is it worth today to a buyer that's ready, willing, and able to pay? Well, I had no clue. I didn't understand that I can look on Zillow and see what land's selling for in the area. Or I can look on Landwalk and see what land is selling for in the area, or maybe Redfin. And I'm giving you ways to figure out what land is worth in your area. You obviously want to do apples to apple comparisons. It's got to be within a mile or two. It's got to be the same size, maybe the same street. But I called a realtor. I hit the easy button. I had no clue what it was worth. So I thought maybe this real estate office that's a mile away from this land, this lady might know what's going on. So a nice realtor answered the phone. It's on a Saturday. I said, hey, I'm buying this land. I'm wondering what the 30-day blowout price is. What can I get rid of this for really quickly? I don't know exactly what you can get for it, but I think we could sell it for $10,000 on the MLS. And I said, great. That sounds like a deal to me. I'll spend $285 to make 10 grand. So I hung up with her. I thanked her for her time, told her I'd call her back when I owned it. I'm sitting here telling my wife this story, and the realtor calls me back and says, hey, what if I were to buy it from you for $5,000 and I can close in a couple days? And I was like, that sounds phenomenal. So let's do it. Send me the purchase agreement. So she sent me the agreement before I even made it home for $5 grand. I called the seller and say, hey, I will be there Tuesday to write you the check. Bring me the deed. So we met on Tuesday. I wrote him the check. He gave me the deed. I brought that deed to the title company. And the next day I went and picked up my $5,000 certified check from the title company. That was my first land deal. I literally a couple days later on a Friday, I bought another piece of land for $500 and I put a Craigslist ad with the photos, $500 down, $400 a month for the next several months. So I think it was 11 months because I sold the land for $5,000 the second time. So if you're noticing, I'm doing a trend of $5,000 each time I sell the land, but this time my paradigm is shifting. I'm going to make that extra, $100 a day. Now, $400 a month is not $100 a day. I had to rinse and repeat and do this multiple times. That second deal, I literally sold it the next day after I bought it, got my $500 back, and I just now have a note of $400 a month, and I already made a profit of $4 grand on the first deal. So my cash flow is building up, and each month I'm adding another $400 or $500 a month. And before I knew it, it was 4 months into this, and I was at $3 grand a month, AKA an extra $100 a day in passive income. And ultimately, it didn't start passive. I had people meeting me to bring me checks and cashier's checks and money orders and cash. And then I finally implemented something called Easy Note Tracking, easynotetracking.com. You can get a trial subscription to this, and literally for $45 a month, all your notes can be tracked. What is a note? That's basically where someone's paying me for the land they're buying from me. I have over 116 of these now, and we're by far making more than $100 a day, but I don't have to do anything. The money goes into my bank account every single month. It's tracked. My buyers can log in to this Easy Note Tracking and see exactly what they owe on their loan, what their interest rate is, when they're going to pay it off. They can print the forms and give it to their tax consultant. All these things can be done by easynotetracking.com. All right, so if you haven't smashed that subscribe button, you should also smash that subscribe button and hit the like button, because I'm going to just keep bringing you the value. Now for that free gift, thank you so much for hitting that like button and that subscribe button. I'm going to give you the free gift, and that is the postcard that I told you about that I used to buy this land. I have used this postcard to buy tens and tens of millions of dollars worth of real estate. I don't just use it for land. I've bought apartment complexes with it. I've bought houses with it. I've bought larger tracts of land with it. I think the largest one we ever used to purchase was 44 acres in Colorado Springs. But it is yours today for free. I'm going to ask you for your name and your email address, but you're going to go to this link called www.thelandsharks.com/postcard. And again, I'm going to ask you for your name and your email, and we'll email you that postcard. And God bless. If you're looking for more information on how to get started in buying and selling land, maybe you want me to hold your hand while you do it, head on over to thelandsharks.com. schedule a call with me and my team. We'll see what your real estate investing goals are. And if we're a good fit, I'd be honored to coach you. But maybe you want to hear more about my processes, or maybe from other students that I've trained and see how successful they are. Head on over to Wholesaling Inc. podcast. That's again, Wholesaling Inc. podcast. There's also an episode below in the description you can check out and hear how others are finding success and making passive income.